Live from Las Vegas at the Media Area Radio Row with Mr. B-Hop, Bernard Hopkins. First of all, how are you doing today, man?
First of all, I'm doing good. I got my workout in. I got my good breakfast. And I'm in Las Vegas. I mean, with every media outlet that you can name, getting ready for, as we know, the Canelo and Triple G second fight. I call it the do or die. Put up or shut up.
You think so? You don't think there'll be a third part no matter what happens?
I want to get past the first one first. See, it's like dating, man. You don't go on one date and think it's going to be two before the first date is over with.
Well, you kind of hope so, though, right?
Well, hope is always needed, but, there's no hope there's no chemistry.
Hold on, so
and the chemistry has got to be the second fight based on the first fight. We're here. You take care of business, either guy. I'm rooting for Canelo. On the second fight, then there's really no date the third fight. Because the third fight doesn't mean anything unless there's a controversy on the second fight. I don't want to go through that again.
So if boxing is like dating, technically you're trying to hit on the first date, right? And if you don't do it right, then you probably don't get a second date. But in this case, we have a second date, and we hope this time you're going to hit it right.
You got to hit it right.
Can you tell me about the best girlfriend here in Las Vegas? The best girl?
The best who?
Girls.
My wife.
Well, I think he means for him.
Yeah. No,
well,
for
I'm
me.
gonna nail you,
For me.
B-Hop, so I got to tell you, man, when I think of top athletes at the top of their game at an older age, I think of two people, and not just because I'm a fan or not, it doesn't matter. I think you and Tom Brady.
It's respect.
It's
Tom
respect.
Brady.
You and
Brady, yeah,
I think you and Tom Brady. I mean, at 40, almost 41 years old, the guy is playing at top notch. What makes you guys so different from a new generation or a former generation?
I think part of it is the way we take care of ourselves, the way we study the game, the way we respect the game, and all these ingredients to success and be successful. I think that, speaking for me, I know without a shadow of a doubt that these parts help me for longevity, success, and even after boxing is done, which it is for me, I still have that mentality of not throwing punches, but preparing for this, interviews, preparing to fly out to different places every other week, preparing to be prepared. That I think is what part Brady has in his DNA, and any other successful non-sports athlete person has in a agenda.
So retirement really doesn't mean you're taking a step back and just relaxing. Retirement just means you're not doing the same thing you were doing for the past 20, 30 years.
Yeah, and that's what I try to explain people, is that when you say retired, or you're supposed to be retired, but they see you all over the place, they're not really paying attention on what you retired from.
Right.
See, when I tell somebody they retired, whether he's a construction man, plumber, boxer, whatever they did that we recognize them to say they retired, you must understand they did retire. When a lady was a school teacher and now she work at the mall every other weekend, and you say, "Oh, Miss Mary, I thought you might have retired." I retired from teaching. I didn't retire from life.
Exactly. That's that's the best way to look at life.
That spit was that good spit?
That was a good spit. Now, you know what? That's my take on this one. So, B-Hop, so if in this case, you're in Vegas all the time. You've been in Vegas many. You almost live here,
both
right?
Sides. That side and this side.
Yes.
Boxer,
So,
and
how do you beat that much temptation? As a professional boxer, I'm sure you had temptation all the time. How did you get past that?
knowing how much lawyers' rates are, and knowing the embarrassment that you can bring on people that really care about you.
But
Learning what the referee.
People don't think that, though.
Learning what the referee says to us that we don't pay attention to. Protect yourself at all times. See, I come from a big city called Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, for celebrate, what do you prefer, margarita or mojito?
Mojito.
Philadelphia fans are probably the most passionate.
Yes, but if you come up like I've came up and it travels to get here, you would know how I can survive. I don't boast and brag about my past, but it is part of my legacy. From the streets of North Philadelphia, from a boxing history family from both sides that didn't take it to the level I took it, but through the penitentiary after burning out all the juvenile facilities, walking off 9 years parole in the 80s and 90s, which was a crucial year in black America.
Making out of that system.
And when you ask me how do I survive this, because game recognized game, and I seen and heard everything. So I have 2 degrees. One I tapped into 28 years ago called Corporate America. And numbers don't lie, I'm 53, so do the math. I went away at 17, I got certified. I went to the state penitentiary at 18 because I was adult by the system. I was ready, as they say, to go to the penitentiary. So when you ask how do I survive, and how did I survive rather?
Who is the
Because
best?
of that legacy, because of that legacy that I'm not proud of, but it sort of prepared me for the life after boxing, or the life well in boxing, where everything come to you, every temptation, every game, every hustle. You understand? You look at my record, I managed myself 90% of my career. Look at it.
No,
It says the Hopkins managed.
and it's a long career, longer than a lot of boxers. So at one point as a boxer, do you decide, hey, I think I'm gonna call it quits? In this case, do you think either one of these boxers, Triple J or Canelo, would have to call it quits if they lose this fight?
Too young. No. The only way they'll call it quits based on medical situations. I think that both guys, depending on how they lose, will have to go ahead and go back. Triple G is 36 now. So Triple D loses, it's 1 or 2 fights and he might retire. What else to do? If he loses at middleweight, he goes up to 60, there's no big money there. He makes his money with Canelo, that's why the fight had to happen, no matter what you was hearing.
I have a hungry. What the place you recommend for eat?
Say what?
I have a hungry right now.
You have a hungry?
What place do you recommend?
Any place that serve vegan food.
Vegan. When did you go vegan? Exactly. How long have you been
about
vegan?
a year now.
About a year now? What was the biggest change that you felt in your body?
I eat more, but the right things that's it's super clean than I was eating prior to becoming vegan, because I've always been the guy that been conscious. But I really got to the point where I know that something that's not registering, that's getting through, that I need to be educated on. And once I went to about 8, 9 meetings and did my research, I realized that veganism is my life. And I started from the top. No fish, no this, no that. I ain't go pescatarian, I didn't go vegetarian, I went straight vegan.
You went straight to it.
Yeah, and you know what? You consider me one of the most disciplined guys you met, right?
I agree, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
walking off 9 years parole.
Man, you know,
Hold up, at a young age in the city of Philadelphia.
I agree.
That's kind of discipline, right?
No, of course.
Veganism is easy for me. It's not hard to be a vegan for me.
It's easier to
If you
say.
know Bernard Hopkins, you know how disciplined I am. I was like, Bernard, oh my God, you got to eat some fish every now and then. Become a pescatarian. I said, how do you spell it? So he said, you got to be a vegetarian. I said, what do you mean? Bernard, vegan is so hard. If you start up and you work your way up, you little fish here. I said, no, I'm going in.
All the way.
Give me a
Straight
12
to it.
Give me a 12-round fight on my first fight.
Could a professional boxer be completely vegan?
Yes.
Yes?
Steve Holmes been a vegan ever
Okay.
since, and I fought him in my defense of my title.
So that whole that whole lack of protein, that's all a myth.
It's so much advanced stuff that's legitimized that you can actually live and eat clean and enjoy the things that you thought that you was enjoying before.
This guy's trying to go get a double meat cheeseburger with bacon. I mean, obviously you can tell he's in good shape, right?
I like it. I like the meat.
Well, you can go, I don't know if you like slaughtering cows, but they got up in Red Rock, they got some cows. You can pay the guy to get his cows.
Like
And you can-
1,500 calories. I need it.
He then says Zumba, man. That's where we can stop at this point. So Bihab, just I know you got a lot of media to cover. So just what's your take on this fight? How's it gonna end?
September 15th, HBO pay-per-view, you will see a historic fight. I like a duel back and forth, but I like Canelo to win a lopsided, unanimous decision based on not just being young, because that don't mean you're better, but it's going to play a factor in this fight. I think he's quicker. I think he's more of a ring generalship type of fighter than Canelo. In Triple G. Canelo has the style, the reflexes, and he doesn't fight Mexican style, which is going to help him. That is Canelo. it's great that Triple G likes to fight Mexican style based on Canelo style.
Right.
So I think it's going to be the opposite effect that's going to benefit Canelo, and it's going to be negative to Triple G.
Excellent. Well,
Thank you.
thank you very much for coming by, and wish you the best in your endeavors. I'm sure.
Go get him some beef.
Man, he needs to
I
get
follow me.
something.
Yeah.
Thank you. B-Hop en el show de Raúl Brindis, Bernard Hopkins. Gracias.